Hey guys, welcome back to Never Give Up. I wanted to share our next video with you. But before I get started with you, I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching the videos. And thank you so much for being willing to share them. And I want to continue to encourage you to share them along. As I continue to do these videos, if you have any comments or if you'd like me to share anything with you, just let me know. I'm here for you. I wanted to make sure I add value. So for this video, I'm going to add a little bit more to it. How to become a Rockstar provider. So here up on the board, I wrote a few things, and I wanted to talk to you a little about what makes us unique. So last time I shared with you our two core values, which was teamwork, ethics, and integrity. Our third one is one of my favorite, I think is very important, is the ability to be adaptable. And I think that word is so cool, adaptability, flexibility, making sure you're willing and being willing to be flexible at times, because as we know, things change. That's the whole thing about life, is that it is very flexible, because you're not going to always have the same thing every day. Some of us wish we could, right? If that everything would just go the same way every day, your life would be great, right? But unfortunately, that's just not how it works. Things are going to come at you, and especially in business. You got to remember, in business, there's two sides to the business. There's an emotional, which is the human part, and then there's the systems and the accountability, which frustrates the human. Because as humans, we don't want that system and accountability. Even though we say we do, we have frustrations with it. And your clients are the same way. In therapy, we're giving them structure and systems. And so in business, a lot of times as providers, we don't fit that mold. And a lot of you are shaking your head, yes, because I don't fit that mold. And you can ask yourself, how many agencies have you went through in the last year? And that's something you got to really ask yourself, because when it comes down to flexibility, is to stay and have longevity, is being flexible, being willing to change at times. So I wanted to share some ideas with you today on adaptability, and I wrote these on the board. Let's start with this side over here. I think it's so important to understand your why. Why is it that you're doing this? When you understand your why, and why is it that I'm in this field, why did I go to school and do what I'm doing now? And if you're in school, why are you in school doing what you're going to be doing? Because you really need to answer this why. Because if you don't know your why, it's going to be really tough when those times come and you have to get through, let's say you're a therapist, and all your intern hours. Because over the years, I've watched interns come in and realize this is just not what I want to do. And I says, wow, you should have learned that while you were going through school, or shadowed, or do something. So over the years, I've seen it that when interns are starting, or when we start into this field, we realize, wow, this is a lot more different than what they were painting in school. Because in school, you're learning theories. You're learning concepts of how to get a client from here to here. They don't teach you the back end of practice, again, those systems, the emotional side and the systems that frustrate you because you have time and deadlines. Because a lot of you don't work that way, because you're an emotional person. That's why you're so good as a practitioner, because you can read people, you can discern. And the strength, that's your strength, is to be in practice, not to be in business. And maybe some of you are very hybrid and you can do both. So that's a gift. Number two is what? What am I doing? What am I doing here? Why am I wanting to do this? But what is it that I'm doing? You got to really answer that question, is what? What am I going to be doing? How am I going to be doing? And then the next thing is, and I think is really crucial, is who am I going to be delivering the service to? So you really got to define, is what is your niche? As a social worker, as an MFT, as a practitioner, you got to decide, what is my niche and where do I want to really practice? So the other day I was talking to a practitioner, and one of them said, you know, I'm really good at adults. I do not like to work with kids. But this is how they put it. They says, a lot of times when it comes to kids, if I work with the adult, it takes care of the issue that's happening with the kids. And I says, yes, that's a good point. And I believe in that, is that if the adults make the change, the kids will at most of the time. And, you know, one of the things that they made is that I'm a good practitioner with adults. So they answered the who. So that's where I think that practitioner really understood the who. And it took her several years to figure that out. As she's a seasoned provider, she's a Rockstar provider, she realized where her niche was, and she got in her zone. Next thing is, when are you going to be provided? Because you got to really decide, is when is it? Is it 9 to 5? Is it 7 days a week? You really got to narrow that down so you have some personal time for you. Like we talked about on the last video, is self-care. Make sure that you're taking some time to wind down. and making sure that you have some time for yourself. And then the last thing that you want to realize is, how am I going to be delivering the service? Is the last thing is, are you going to be doing it the traditional way by doing it in the office one-on-one? Are you going to be using technology? Are you going to be doing some other ways? Are you going to become a content expert in the field, or are you going to just kind of do what they taught you in school? You really have to explore the industry. What are all the opportunities and options out there? So those are the things I want you to really realize. Take your time to go why, what, who, when, and how. How am I going to do this? And the next thing on becoming a Rockstar provider, and I'll leave you with this, is, am I willing to be adaptable and flexible at times? And do I have the knowledge to do that? Am I searching out self-help? Am I developing myself? Am I working on me? And the last thing is, do I have the skills to do it? A lot of us think we do because, as providers, we're teaching people all day how to change their life, right? So we think in our head that we have it all down. But when it comes to our personal and our own personal growth, we need to look for a coach, because a coach needs a coach. And that's something I've always taught over the years. And the last thing is, be open. Make sure that you're open, because a glass that's full and there's just no more room to fill it, you can't teach. So the big thing is, always have your glass halfway full, that there's room for you to learn. Because I've bumped up against individuals and providers, they know everything. There's no growth. There's no way to teach them, because you got to be able to coach each other. So as you're open and as you have the room and the capacity to learn, it's when you have the growth. You become that rock star, because that's when you stretch yourself. Continue to do what you're doing. Continue to push yourself forward. And if you'd like to become a Rockstar provider and be part of our team, go below. There's an email there. Send us your information. We'd love to get a hold of you, or call us. And I look forward to working with you, or just become that rock star. See you next time, guys. Thank you.